Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. With a mixture of expectation and impatience, well bottled.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinade. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, look...
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, "Don't worry," he actually meant, be very worried.
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded. Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him. The fat man does the same, sinking deeper into his chair. Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters. Why, thank you.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a law...
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Somehow you managed to get yourself out of this one. Now quick, keep whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're...
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac.
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out.
Words flow like a... I guess word has already reached him. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out...
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lot...
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock.
He doesn't really seem to know any more about it.
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man, do you strike yourself as a family man? Well, yes. I'm sure you're going to make one little boy or a girl very happy and proud one day, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau.
He got the name from the Census Bureau. And everything else?
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau.
That means he doesn't really a pity. The mystery of you will have to
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... You did look like you were gonna collapse and die when I told you... Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange...
Yes, that sounds good.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone...
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door...
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary...
You want to send someone a message that the...
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi. Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A loud blabbering weasel. When just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's... Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back...
Yes, we...
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all... Harry, you smooth-talking son of a...
Smooth talking? Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least...
I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operation. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me.
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he...
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't think...
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might... But of course, all joke... Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police... And, Jean, please take it easy with the race science. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. Your gun will be found, Harry.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Harry! Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be...
I assure you, we are working on locating the...
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our hands. A fantastic change of heart, Harry. Go talk to
And just like that, it's happening.
Just open one little door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the... Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here. You're one of us now. A real red and white...
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer...
Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it's... Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical.
The So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior.
You're so...
There's a pub.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That some...
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking...
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove... Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows me.
So, you guys are like cop... Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cool? I like men with guns and power.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. Don't worry. Physical stuff like this is really easy for Measurehead. It's late outside, isn't it? You guys must really like doing what you do to be out so late.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate. And what you had to do was to become a Union man from all... don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble.
He looks toward...
Thanks. I hope you found how strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my... I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. The trash collection service, CS Municipal.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track... Thank you anyway.
Yes. Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find your body is ready, sire. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And...
Can I help? Yes, have you got... Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? As a police officer, you must... Evidence being money. You can't stop... Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measure.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a... Oh, wonderful. Try to do that. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant. Where...
Hello again.
Wait, who's the lieutenant? Her eyes move up and down your person as though...
You're a handsome man, officer, with... But you must forgive me. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are...
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer. And even if he weren't there, I don't... Perhaps another time. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your...
You must be...
It's not easy to assert your right to...
Try to force a tear out of your duct. Really rip into the whole emotional aggression thing.
Officer, get a hold of yourself.
Sweetie, I'm sorry, but I think you need... Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I don't have money for... Oh...
Inside, you see a set of steering.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the...
Transport enclosure. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubs.
I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I don't know. Is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. No, that would be silly. I don't know why.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the...
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier. Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest.
The lieutenant nods as you...
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all.
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through here. Local. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe. Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off-the-charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind. She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was, truth be told...
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder.
My apologies, officer.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just...
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday. Look, they went their way. It was a trick.
Wait, then it might be true.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your guy.
People as oleaginous as ever are seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
Of course.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hub.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud?
No one was defrauded or jumped.
Of course. I meant no...
Thank you. Here's the 100 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest is for him, to compensate for the pain of being...
Anything else you're thinking of selling? I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. Oh, no. I don't... Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness.
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man are not that.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, Pat. I doubt it. I do my best to keep my distance.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type. Yes, Guess what's yours? That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the... No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Wow. Okay. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and this would make quite a statement in your living room.
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
It was...
We are not here to investigate the theft. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every... Well, there are the costs of... The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its more...
Okay, that checks out. The boombox is on the shelf. One especially catches your eye. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel. If police work means playing tapes, sure, you can use it for that. Absolutely, I've tested each one myself with...
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags. Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of...
I used to be very...
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear...
Which one?
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look...
You're probably... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe.
The war...
We can sit on back.
This postlavantorie now. A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number. The box seems eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic.
Yes, have you got it? Well? Great, perfect. I hope you enjoy your freezing cold room with the window you broke yourself. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, please pay for each night in advance. 20 real per night. If you don't have the money, it's over for you. Got it? You've got nowhere else to stay.
Time stops advancing after 2 in the morning. If you haven't paid for your room by then, it's game over. Don't leave finding money to the last minute, however. It's hard.
I'll take a room.
Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Yes? What do you want to know? What's... The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street game. Well, sort of. It's less a matter. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you...
So, he volunteered to represent the 57th. Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are 2 columns. One says, "The rows are endless." Jean Vitmer, Judith Minot, a special consultant. What was his name? Then the rows degrade into...
Yes. I'm an... Well, technically. The official record keeper has been known to double-count murder-suicides.
A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My fellow officers, the sergeants... Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get... A good joke. Oh, you will? Then I will help you to... Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Because you're the best qualified? No, that doesn't seem right. If you're so well qualified, why can't you remember why you were sent? It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers. This is the door to the room you redecorate.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM? I have a cigarette every night when I go.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes. You mean this? This is it.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below.
Well, we inspected the victim's body. I would say... Then you shot him in the chest, which wasn't ideal, and we still have to get him down from the tree.
By not ideal, he means he can't believe he let you try that trick and would be angry if he didn't feel the outcome was partly his responsibility.
Right. As for the interviews, he wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. Moving on, we didn't talk to the Wild Pines rep. We really... Above all though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice? It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hair. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really... Yes, although indirectly, as officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. prevent. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The coalition government. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So, or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralintern...
Or if they think you do.
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the IC. What do they believe in? They are Delorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by her.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is...
Something like the dark blue, serious color of...
A historic figure? The author of the Moralintern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts. Do you? In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez, most of them at least, especially the Union. Vigilantes. I expect our job...
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. An aerostatic passes overhead. The whiskers of its floodlights on...
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you. We run this city. West, it's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization worked. Me too.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. Yes?
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Fuck are you talking to, clown?
Talking to the dead man? Psycho cop.
Somewhere, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is preparing a report. He should be here for this, you realize. You have to return later. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. And then, sleep doesn't come. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separate smells of alcohol and sweat. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly, a bit tense in the muscles. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
says on the can, Harry. Answer the question. You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets wandering, reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This'll be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? Oh no, funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left, while you just stood there, with one hand on the bottle. Tell me, where are your friends? Human, no, it's gone. You failed Elysium. Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. You really dropped the ball, Harry. No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do. Even in your dreams. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in...
Stinky boy.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that... You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like...
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good going, buddy. Yes. Wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel evil. You don't know? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up? You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even... It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, but you're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline. Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think? It's power, man. It's professionalism. It makes you feel like you're young again and ready to detect. Ready to go to war against the world. Of course, Martinez is Speed. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably... The door is closed. Still nothing. Still nothing. This door can open.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned. Everything points to the dock workers' union. Which may, of course. Men who drink beer for breakfast? I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's that. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it. That would just escalate tensions. No captain would say. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives. One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately.
Yeah, streetwise. But aren't you curious to...
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they...
Got the 20 real? Then why are you wasting...
Just a moment. And there...
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Oh, please don't trouble yourself. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the... To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. I was also hoping she... That's just it. But you have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morell is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary... But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them? Goodness no.
Yes, please. Some science fiction is exactly what's needed.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morell.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an...
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field.
The RCM's 4-phase.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From an honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. Usually after you are, your station would not. It's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard, that only leaves the Wild Pines representative.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. The rotting man lies on. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep.
Shoot, Looney Rooney! Come back later, Coppo.
Damn it. This is too. Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes. That's right.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there.
KK57-0803.08.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
HDB 41 0803 1015. It's understated.
Good. Let's go with that. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50. Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well. The pudgy mess of curdled meat.
Fuck you!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and...
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by... is not...
HDB 41 0803.
None. At least not after the initial exam. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a man.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color...
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots...
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought. Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of...
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single... The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as the deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch. The stench is suffocating. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil. More hair sticks to the glove. Hair off the rain-soaked. For a fraction of a second you feel something. An irregularity. But what was what? Brilliantine. There's brilliantine in his hair. What was what? Brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs.
Fucking low velocity! You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity?
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now. Like a flower arranger. 2 cuts, and it should. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut, and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where it...
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant.
No!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades. Dispersal and accumulation.
We have a real Last item. Hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after...
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly... It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. Inside, you see darkness. Just
hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts. Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory.
Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, unless you have untapped
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and...
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 feels. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Oh, so we inflicted them? Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990 muzzleloader, but I don't think we should mention that. Better not to muddy the waters.
Why don't you fuck?
Now, injuries. Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused that. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator has confessed to causing it at
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man.
Right. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring... I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results through the right. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him for processing.
You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. The genitals in his breeches continue to be unnoteworthy. You see the penis of a dead man. If you've seen it once, you've already got the picture.
Do you think we missed something? Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast. If you want for this task to slowly become impossible, then it would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the whirling...
Fuck!
Only if all else fails. Hurry. This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You really ought to wait until the cadaver is refrigerated. Digging around